Okay, well, good afternoon, you all. I hope that everybody is doing pretty well today. I want to welcome you all to our fourth and final session of this counseling group with graduate students that are struggling with stress and anxiety. Now, on a scale of about 1 to 10, let's just say, how has everyone's week been since our last session that we had together?
Good. 10, sorry. You said 1 to 10.
Oh, great, 10. Wow, that's good.
10 for me too.
Wonderful. I'm so glad. That's definitely an improvement from previous weeks for sure. Do you think it's because of stuff that we talked about or learned in the group that you all had better weeks?
For
Yeah.
sure.
Amazing. And as we go on through the group, we'll dive into a little bit more of that later. And I did want to let you all know that one of our group members, Ashley, she let me know that she wouldn't be able to join us for our last session today. And she and I spoke briefly beforehand, and she wanted me to let you all know that she truly enjoyed being a part of the group. And now, during today's session, we're going to kind of recap what we've gone over thus far. We're going to create an anxiety plan that I kind of let you all know about, and we're going to just prepare to close the group. Now, I'm really excited about how our group has progressed so far. I've definitely seen differences in you, if nothing else, from the activity that we did, from you all giving tens, which was nowhere near a number that you all were giving in the beginning when I asked you that question. So just in a few sentences or so, how would you all describe your experience with this group so far?
I would say that it's been really helpful,
Good.
and I feel a lot more knowledgeable about anxiety than me previously coming to the group.
Good. And what about you? Do you have any thing that you want to add about how you just described your experience with the group so far?
Yeah, I feel the same. I learning about anxiety and how it works and everything when I was having anxious moments on my own, I was able to catch them and use the techniques and stuff that we learned in the group to calm myself down and, compose myself. So it's been really helpful.
Okay, great. Good. Now, so what do you all think that you were able to, use kind of the most as far as, helping yourself with some of the stress and anxiety? Do you think it was like the learning about the stress? Oh, it was the stretching and things? So the techniques that we went over last session, those were the most helpful so far. Okay, good. Now I'm glad that you all were able to just take away some good information from what we've learned so far. But before we get into the plans for this session, I just want to do a quick recap of what we've learned so far. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. Okay, so our first session, we went over stress, which for a while was what you all kind of mentioned was your favorite part of the group so far. And we just kind of learned that stress was our response to things that were happening in our lives, and that it could be good, meaning it feels motivating or exciting, or it could be bad, which can lead to panic attacks or feeling anxiety, and really that bad part that we kind of come to our group today to talk about. Then we kind of went over the roles in our lives and what sort of shoes that we were filling in our lives that were causing us stress. I know some of you said being a mother, being a student, there are all kind of things, and just like what we had to do and how we could improve them in our lives by either eliminating them completely or just kind of changing them, or our expectations about them to kind of relieve some of the stress that we were feeling. And then from there, we kind of went on to these stress management techniques that you all were talking about, and just kind of learning what helps, what doesn't help, and different things. And I do have them listed here. I know I sent you all a copy in your email. And now, just thinking about what we've talked about and what we've reviewed so far, what has been the most meaningful part of it to you? Was it the stress management techniques? And if so, why do you think that?
I think it was the techniques because it helped me calm. It taught me how to calm myself down and how to not let the anxiety win over and end up having a full blown panic attack, because that was the thing I hated the most, was having those. and the techniques we learned just really helped me prevent those from happening, and helped me, take a minute to, like I said earlier, compose myself, and, once I was calmed down, analyze what was going on, and um, just, yeah, I just felt a lot better using those techniques.
Okay, well, good. I'm definitely glad some of the techniques have helped. So if you were to just say maybe a week from now, feel like, okay, I'm about to have a panic attack, based off what we've learned so far, what do you think that you would do now differently than what you would have done before?
I would definitely close my eyes and do the breathing exercises, and depending on how bad it is, probably incorporate some of those stretches,
Yeah.
and just really just try and calm myself physically first, or going out for a walk and walking around, getting fresh air, or, seeing if I could go to someone I trust and that could support me or help me through it. So those are things now that I do that I wasn't doing before. Before, I would just kind of let it spiral and just end up just feeling really anxious and not being able to do anything productive. And I would just, just sort of be existing, if that makes sense, too scared to do anything. But now that's not really the case.
Well, that's good. You said a lot of good things during that. You talked about how you can do things for yourself physically to help actually calm yourself emotionally. And a lot of people, that's not something that they realize, that our physical and our mental bodies are sometimes more connected than what we think. So when we actually calm ourselves down by using kind of physical techniques, it can calm us down mentally. And then you talked about, basically summarizing what you said, just being able to kind of take control of situations, which I know for you especially, control is something that you really didn't feel like you had much of. So I am really glad that that's something that you're seeing yourself kind of develop. Do you think that you're able to now apply just feeling more in control to more parts of your lives? Or is it just maybe the stress, or do you think you're really able to really kind of get some control in your life in general?
Um, I would say that I'm starting to get some of that control. I'm not 100% there
Mhm.
yet, but I definitely have seen that I'm starting to get there, compared to when we first started in the group. So,
Yeah, that's wonderful. And, some things, once they're so ingrained in us, it's not easy to just, okay, it's just been through sessions, since we discussed control first. So it's not always easy to change. So you have done so much and grown so much in just these past 3 sessions, that you should really feel proud of yourself. And I know that if you continue to just put in the work and just slowly make decisions, and that'll get there for you. And what about you, Rodriguez? What has been the most meaningful part of this group for you?
For me, learning the difference between good stress and bad stress, because I think a lot of times I was feeling sorry for myself. I'm like, oh, I have so much going on. It's just too much. But then when you
Yeah.
learn that a lot of these things aren't bad, it's just that, it may be a bit overwhelming. So once you look at it like, hey, this isn't a bad thing, I just need to learn how to manage it, it really changed my outlook. And so when I changed my outlook, it helped me to not be stressed out. Definitely.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. Because I know that was something for you, especially, that you felt like you had a lot going on. And then just kind of realizing that, no, actually, some of these are good things. I have seen that kind of improve in you, and kind of almost immediately when I mentioned it and we discussed it in the group, I saw you kind of light up and perk up, just knowing that, okay, maybe I am a lot more blessed than what I thought I was. Okay, well, good. I'm glad that you all were just able to take over what we've been learning and kind of really apply it to your lives. So now that you all know, what stress is and how to manage it, and the next step would be to actually kind of incorporate it in your life. And we want to start by doing that by coming up with a plan. So, a personalized anxiety plan is a written list of activities that you all can do to prevent feeling stressed, or a list of what you can do to when you are feeling that stress. And you'll be able to take these plans and keep them with you as a reminder of what you can do when you feel stressed or if stress becomes intolerable, just for you to have to serve as a roadmap of just how to overcome feeling some of these stress. So I sent you all a copy, and I'm gonna pull it up. And I sent you all a copy of this in your email of this stress plan. And let me move you all out the way so I can get it all pulled up. Okay, so I sent you all a copy of this, and if you don't have it printed out, that's fine. You can just use a piece of paper and you can transfer it over to this if you would like to. Okay, so the first thing that we want to talk about is to reduce stress. What are the changes that you will make in your life every day to reduce stress? I know something that you have said, Rodrigo, is that you won't, cook so much for all these people who can take care of themselves. So what is just one little thing, and I'd like you all to write it down, just one little thing that you can do every day to reduce your stress? I'll give you all just a few seconds to kind of think about it. Alrighty, so what did you all put for something that you can do every day, just something small to reduce your stress?
I wrote that every day I would want to try and dedicate at least or at most an hour to myself where I can rest and unwind, and not have to do all the chores or schoolwork or take care of the baby or things like that. Just have an hour to myself where I can just, you know, have some me time and just relax.
Oh yes, that's a wonderful thing to add. An hour, it may not seem like long, but it really doesn't take much to just devote some time to yourself to help reduce the stresses in your life. What about you, Rodrigo? What did you put for something that you can do every day?
I said I will express gratitude.
Good. Because sometimes just being thankful, like kind of what you said about not realizing that everything was bad, just by being thankful can help you change your perception of how you perceive some things that may be stressing you out. And then what's something that you can do every week that you can do? This maybe things like have a girls' night out with your friends once a week, have a date once a week, go get your nails done once a week. What's something that you can just do every week that can overall help you feel better? And I'll give you all a little bit to think about that one. All right. What's something that you all think you can do just once a week?
I said have a date night with my husband, so that he and I can get away and spend time with each other, which is hard to do when we have a baby. So because all our focus is on the baby, and we tend to lose sight of our relationship. So I think a date night every week would be nice for both of us.
Okay, that's really good. Just getting away and spending time with the people in your lives that you love and care about, and getting together and laughing or whatever it takes to just help yourself feel calm helps out tremendously in getting over some of the stresses that you have and just taking a second to unwind and step back from that. What about you, Rodrigo? What do you think? There's something that you can do just once a week to help with your stress?
And I said I would exercise.
Okay, good, good, good. And exercising is something that we talked about, the stretching and exercising as being something that really can just help you reduce some of the stress that you feel in your lives. Now, what is something that you all feel like you can just do once a month? This might be your big thing, like actually go get a spa, or just get your hair done professionally. What's something that you can do to kind of splurge and spend on yourself once a month to just kind of reduce some of that stress? And you don't even have to spend money to do it. It could be free things like going for a hike once a month, or just your favorite activity once a month, or having a big party. What's just something that you can do to help reduce some of that stress? All right. And what is something that you put down for just doing once a month to help yourself?
I put I will binge watch a show.
Yes, I definitely, as a parent, it gets hard to watch some of your favorite shows. And just by taking just, once a month, you can set it on your calendar and just really have that time where you can just get away from the realities of everything that's going on and just step back for a second and watch and do some of the things that you might have done more before you became a mother. What about you? What's something that you can do just once a month?
Plan some type of day trip. It could be something as big as going to the beach, or something as little as just going for a picnic in the park. Just something that's, fun, and preferably outside with fresh air and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. And so when we talk about, what we can do to kind of reduce the stress and prevent ourselves from getting too stressed, I see a kind of a pattern here that it's either spending time alone or spending time with others. And those things are definitely things that we all can do, either get with others or get some time to ourselves to really just unwind and unpack and just step back from everything that's going on and just have some time. And I definitely encourage you all to pick a consistent day, whether if it's your weekly thing, you'll do something every Saturday, or your monthly thing that you'll do every, let's just say, the 15th of the month, and really kind of get that written down so that when you're feeling stressed and feeling like everything's getting overwhelming, you can take a step back, pull up your calendar and see, well, I know on this day, which is just in a few weeks, I'll be able to go on this picnic, or I'll be able to go on this date night, or I'll be able to watch the show, so that you can just have something to look forward to. No matter when you're feeling stressed, there'll always be something that's coming around the corner. Okay, good. Now I want to talk about when you're actually in the heat of the stress. So far, we've just been talking about kind of preventing it. But when we're actually in the middle of feeling stressed, what is something that you can do? I know that you mentioned, Sophia, that you can take a deep breath. I know you mentioned, Rodrigo, that sometimes you like to do the stretches now. So just write down, when you're in the heat of it, you're feeling stressed, what is something that you can do? And it could be multiple things. You might take a deep breath, count to 6, listen to music, just whatever it is that you feel like will work best for you. And just, I'll let you take a few minutes to write down what you think you can do. All right. So what do you all what did you all put down on your list as far as what you can do when you're feeling the stress?
I wrote I could go for a drive, listen to music, just drive around,
Mhm.
or go for a walk.
Good. Those are definitely things. The music, especially, is something I said that really helps me when I'm in the middle or when I feel kind of stressed. So I'm glad that you're able to incorporate that from the technique list into your plan. What about you, Rodrigo? What do you think that you can do when you're starting to feel that stress?
I said just stop and like just say a quick prayer. It doesn't have to be anything long, but sometimes you just need to be like, Jesus, like I need your help. Just something of that nature. That always kind of seems to calm me down. It makes me feel like I'm not alone. And it's funny that you guys said music because I said hum my favorite song that always makes me feel better. And then think of something funny that always like laughter, food to the soul, and I always feel better if I can like laugh.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you all are pulling things out of the list that I mentioned you all about. You specifically said prayer, just having a healthy spiritual life, regardless of what sort of religion anybody is in, but having a healthy spiritual life has been shown to improve stress levels in people's lives. And you said listening to music and thinking about funny things, laughter was something that I had on the list. So I'm glad that you all were able to pull things off the list and come up with things on your own, like driving in Sophia's case, of just what you can do when you're starting to feel some of that stress in your life. And now sometimes we feel like, hey, we might need to talk to somebody. So who is someone that you can talk to when you are feeling that stress? It could be your parents, it could be a friend, your spouse or boyfriend, just who's someone in your life that you can call when you're just feeling like, okay, I need to vent some of this and talk to somebody else and get some advice. Who's that person for you that you can call? And it can be several, and you may want to write a name and then a backup name if the first one is unavailable. So who are some of these people in your life that you can really kind of be vulnerable with and bring them in to your situation of what's going on? And I'll give you all a few minutes to think about who you can call. And if you don't have their numbers right now, it's okay. But I highly encourage you to write them down as soon as you can. Alrighty. So who did you all put down for just some people that you can call?
And I'm pretty spoiled, so between depending on the situation, between my boyfriend and my sister, I can always call either one of them or both of them sometimes. And they're always down to listen to me, talk me down.
Oh, good, good, good. What about you, Sophia? Do you have some people in your life that you could give a call if you ever needed to?
Both of my brothers.
I'm glad that you all have, sounds like good family members and boyfriends that you can give a call if you ever need anything. Now, do they already know, the people that you mentioned, that you have been struggling with some of the stress that we've talked about a little bit in this group? Do they already know that about what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because you definitely want to let them know in advance that, hey, I'm struggling with stress and I put you down as somebody that I should call whenever I'm feeling it. That way that they can be aware and kind of be sensitive to the need. And the people that we have in our lives, they care about us. So while he might have been doing something in the case of your brother, or your sister might have been busy, if you let her know that, hey, this is going on, a lot of times the people that we have in our lives, they will make room for us. And that's something that, as women especially, but as people, we always feel like we have to do everything alone. But the truth is that we have people in our lives that we can call and that we can talk to. Are you all comfortable talking with everything that's been going on with the people that you wrote down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good, good. And now kind of the last part of our plan is talking about, what we should do if it gets overwhelming or if our stress becomes kind of intolerable to the point where it might be turning into like a major anxiety problem or maybe even a depression problem where we feel like we really need to get some help or may even feel overwhelmed to the point of being suicidal. So I definitely wanted to bring this up in a group so that you all could, talk about really, okay, when it gets hard, what can I do if everything else that I've written on my plan doesn't work? So the first thing that we want to know is that if you are ever feeling suicidal to the point where, you feel like you have a plan about how to do it or you want to do it, you will want to stop and call 911. That's just, it might feel crazy because it might not feel like an emergency, but I want you all to know that your lives, if they're at stake, even if it's by your own hands, that it is an emergency, and that's something that you definitely want to do would be to call 911. Now, the next person you might want to consider calling is a doctor. Do you all have a doctor that you could call that could maybe get you with some medication, get you with anything if you're starting to feel like it's overwhelmed? And you can just kind of write your doctor's name and their number, just basic information about your doctor so that if you're ever in it, you might not can access your doctor, but you should have your plan with you. And then the National Suicide Hotline is somewhere that you can call and they'll sit down and they'll talk with you and they'll listen to you. And then if you are to the point where they think that you might need to get some additional help, they can reach out and call 911 on your behalf. So I do have the number in here already for you. And like I said, I sent this to you all in your email. So I highly encourage you all to print this out, fill it out, and keep it with you wherever you go. And now the next thing that I want to talk about is a counselor and just finding somebody that you can have to be there for you and talk with you and really get some help one-on-one. And I'm going to pull up another screen since we are here. Okay, and so I have some counselors that I have actually worked with in the past and would be willing to refer you to. And I'm going to be sending these to you all in an email as well. And if you ever need additional help, please feel free to get with me, and so that we can work together to get you an individual regular counselor. And let you know that there's absolutely no shame at all in getting the extra help that you all may need. I mean, you all have been so brave so far, just coming to this group and getting this help. And I just want to encourage you to just continue on that bravery and get someone that can help you if you feel like you need to. I'm gonna take down my screen. Okay, so now that you kind of have these plans written in front of you, what do you think about what you've written so far? Do you think it's something that could help you if you ever get into a situation?
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
Okay, good. Do you think that you'd be able to realistically incorporate all these things? Like if you're in the middle of stress, do you actually feel like you would be able to get in the car and drive in your case? Or do you actually feel like your sister or somebody who has availability for you? We want to, because these plans are what we're going to actually do when we get in real life. So we want to make sure that they are working for us. Do you all feel like they're good plans so far?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, since these plans, like I said, are here for you to use in your day-to-day lives to both prepare for and prevent stress. So if you aren't comfortable with your plan, you might not use it successfully. So I want to give you kind of an opportunity to just practice your plan in a stress-free environment. And I'll be here with you to kind of walk you through what to do and how they work. So which one of you would like to practice first?
I'll go.
Okay, good. Okay, so I want you to just imagine that it's your finals week and you have several finals this week and you've not had much of an opportunity to study. You have things going on in your personal life. You have a doctor's appointment. You have a girls' night. There's a funeral for a great uncle you've never met. And on top of this, you woke up this morning and you are having a flat tire and your dog is sick. So you are really in the midst of it. Things are stressful. So looking at your anxiety plan, what is the first thing that you would do?
First thing I would do was definitely go back to my prayer. 'Cause I
Yes.
think at that point, I don't think anything else would help. So
Hmm.
definitely, I would definitely, like I said, go directly to the prayer. Try to find some gratitude somewhere in the midst of all of that, something to be
Yeah.
thankful for, and then probably some music. For some reason, music just helps.
Yes.
So, so yeah, I think my playing could definitely help me during that situation.
Okay. And now I just want to play a little bit of devil's advocate. What if none of that works? What if you've listened to your favorite song, you've
Mhm.
prayed, you've done it? What if that doesn't help? What do you think that you could do next by looking at your plan? What's the next thing that you should do?
The next thing I would do is call my sister
Yeah.
when I'm really having one of those. She is the person that can talk me down for sure. So
Okay.
definitely giving her a call, and she is very good about recognizing when I'm not sounding like myself or something like
Yeah.
that. So she'll she'll take care of me.
Okay, good, good, good. So just by going through this kind of mock example, what do you think about your plan just actually in action? Do you think there's anything you should add to make it better, or is it good as it is? What do you think?
Mm, I probably could probably put another technique because I don't want my sister to have to be always my go-to. So
Mhm.
probably try to do another technique in there so that it could just be more solid.
Okay, good. No, great. Because it's definitely good that you're recognizing this now while we're in this safe environment versus being out in it. And next thing you know, your sister's not answering your phone anymore because you might have, stressed her out too much. So definitely just whatever you can do to kind of add to your plan to, make sure that it actually works in your life. Now, Sophia, what do you think about her plan? Is there anything that you feel like you would do differently, or do you have any feedback for her or anything she could add?
Um, no, I think how she explained what she would do would be really helpful for her. Um, Maybe like what she said, incorporate new techniques, maybe some of those physical activities like the breathing exercises or the stretches. I know she said that she really liked the stretching with the hands, so
Yeah.
maybe incorporate that.
Okay, good. I think that's great feedback because that is something that you've said that you've really enjoyed. You definitely want to make sure that when you're starting to feel that stress, that you have things that you can do. If you ever forget, you go blank, because sometimes when we're stressed, that's all we can do is focus on the stress. So by having these written plans somewhere that we can get to easily, we're able to read and say, oh, okay, I can do XYZ to help. So that's good. Now, Sophie, I want to give you a scenario as well to just make sure that your plan is working best for you. So now I want you to imagine that you've noticed that overall that your stress has just been off the charts. Little small things that never would bother you, they're really stressing you out. You've been breathing, you've been listening to your calming music, you've gone for a drive, you've done everything, but nothing that's working that used to work is working now. So just looking at your plan, um, what do you think that you should do? Or do you think you should call someone? What do you think that you should do in this situation?
Um, I think I would actually probably go somewhere really calming. Maybe find a trail with like a river or a waterfall or something that's not too far away, and just spend the day there relaxing and just getting my thoughts together. And just listening to nature, I think would help me a lot.
Okay, good. And I'm really glad that you specifically mentioned that that's something that you would like. So that may want to be something that you incorporate as part of something that you do every week or every month, just to kind of have that there for you when you're starting to feel some of this stress and what's going on. whatever in your life. Now, just based off what you've written, do you think that there's anything that you should do to plan better for that situation? As in nothing's working, you're feeling the heat, or do you feel like your plan has you pretty prepared?
I think it has me pretty prepared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, well, I am definitely so excited that you all are able to see that you can use these plans in your everyday lives. And now I want us to kind of transition into preparing to end this group. Is there anything that you all think that we need to discuss further, or if there's something that you would like to bring up? Okay. Well, I know that I asked this question a lot, but I want you all to know that I'm really here to be a resource for you during this time. If there's anything that you'd like to discuss, I'm definitely here from you. I just really kind of urge you all not to leave this group thinking that I wish I would have said this or that. Is there anything that you all would like to add or bring up? And if not, you can definitely, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I definitely want to just thank you for hosting this group and having it. It's been super helpful in a lot of my situations in my everyday life. So if you ever doubted what you're supposed to be doing or where you're supposed to be, it's definitely here. So just thank you so much for doing what it is that you do.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for that. And I saw Sophia nodding over there. So thank you as well. Yes, this has definitely been a great group. And I have seen a lot of improvement from you all from the time that we started until now. But yeah, if you all need anything else or can think of anything, please do not hesitate to reach out to me after the group is over. I know that I've emailed you all a few times, and in the email, I have my email address that you can reply to, and I have my phone number if you all need to call for anything at all. And so how are you all feeling about the end of this group? Do you all feel prepared to handle some of the stresses in your lives better than when we started the group?
Yes.
Okay, good. And now, so I hope that you all just kind of realize that you can continue these things that you have learned in this group. This group has been a great experience for me, and it sounds like it's been a good experience for you too as well. And once again, if I can ever be of any help, please feel free to reach out and contact me. And I hope that you all just continue to grow and have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thank you.
You.
Bye, girls.